Dear countrymen and women, the measure of our success as the IG in prosecuting this liberation is our ability to stop the enemy's manipulative agenda on every front. They saw the invitation of their dictator to the US-Africa Summit a couple of weeks ago as a diplomatic breakthrough and a platform for them to manipulate US opinion on our cause. Unfortunately, that visit turned out to be a poison chalice to the bloodthirsty nonagenarian. My address to the organizers contributed more to the debate than the zombie movie we saw. The worst memories ever was Bia's appearance as a dead man walking in Washington. The world now realizes that any world leader who has been talking to a certain President Bia on phone and not on video during the past 2 years has been talking to the comedian called Canto Lo Phénomène that mimics Bia's voice perfectly. As for the real Paul Bia, he is disoriented and completely incapacitated by an advanced stage of dementia. Imagine Bia came to Washington to address the US Summit, Africa Summit of heads of state, but did not know which meeting it was. He was introduced to speak during the summit. He was welcomed on stage with customary applause, but could not tell why he was received like a star on stage. He did not know who was attending the US Summit, which he was called to address. He was not sure if there were important people in the meeting. He was not sure why he was called in person to speak, and even wondered aloud to his handlers why he was not substituted. His handlers' response to Bia's question are there, and in fact, they are even more telling. The handler answered in the affirmative when he was asked if there are important people in the hall. He mentioned that there were ministers in the hall and not heads of state. He said so probably assuming that in Bia's scanty memory, he probably woke up that morning thinking he was still in Vomeka, where the only important persons in a meeting will be ministers. That whole episode was pathetic and disgraceful, not to the senile nonagenarian, but to the cruel subordinates and system that maintains such a sick person who has lost his mental capacities as leader of a nation at war. Permit me to ask the dumb leaders of La République du Cameroon and the colonial puppet master France, will you board a plane with a man that walks, talks, and acts like Bia as your pilot?